Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Michael Annan.
I'm student meteorologist Colby Pope.
Yeah, Colby, it was one of those typical summer days here in Tallahassee, just the normal afternoon showers and thunderstorms and the heat and humidity.
Oh yeah, we enjoyed those mid-90s throughout the day.
Yep.
I know I was sweating heading off to class, and then we had some cloud cover that helped, and a
Yeah.
few showers around the area, but nothing like what we saw yesterday.
Oh yeah, yesterday, especially during our class, very intense thunderstorms moving through Tallahassee.
It was
Nothing
even
like that.
hard for the professor to even teach. She was saying, "Oh no, you couldn't even hear her because
I know.
the thunderclaps and
Lots of thunder and lightning yesterday. Thank God today it's not as much activity on radar.
yeah, a little bit quieter, and we'll have more about that in the show. And also remnants of Florence heading to the northeast, and glad to be good riddance, Florence. Good riddance.
Yep, going away into the Atlantic. Thank goodness we're done with that storm finally, especially for the Carolinas.
Absolutely, because they definitely need some relief. It's time to drain that water out. And for more on the show, we'll have Dylan there with your overview. He's out at the wall.
Thank you very much. At about 6 o'clock right now, guys, we're seeing 85 degrees. So it's cooler, but it's only cooler because we're seeing scattered thunderstorms right now. The feels like temperature went from 100 to now 93 in the span of about 10 minutes. That's due to this rain cooling things off, but it's not a good cool feeling. It's a moist and muggy cool feeling. And as we look at the radar, we do see some storms off to our west. These are expected to dissipate as the sun sets. So we're not going to see a lot of rain, not very long-lived showers, but these are expected to dissipate. And as we zoom out, we do see we're sandwiched between two areas of high pressure. This frontal boundary right down here, bringing a little bit of rain, but not a big story. And we're going to see similar patterns for the next couple of days as we see 20% chance of rain tomorrow, 30% on Wednesday, and Friday we see 40%. So we're increasing our rain chances and our temperatures are going down as well. And coming up later in the show, summertime pattern is going to continue. We have your Parents Weekend forecast as it is this weekend, Parents Weekend. And then, of course, we definitely have your Tour Championship forecast because why not? Now let's send it over back to the desk with Colby and Michael to pick this week's metro area.
Yeah, thanks, Dylan. We're just switching things around this week. I'm actually heading up back to Atlanta for the Tour Championship on Friday. So I decided to do the state segment, not our state segment, our metro segment this week. So Colby, you had the honors.
Well, I'm excited to do this, and now when will we be seeing this metro? It'll be next Friday, correct?
Yes,
not
next
this
Friday.
but next Friday. So I'm really excited to do this. So come on, no whammies, big money, no whammies. Let me pick out. So what we got here. Oh, Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah, Charleston, West Virginia.
Metro. Nice.
Yep.
Have you ever been to West Virginia?
West Virginia? No, I haven't been. I've been into Virginia but not West Virginia.
Not West Virginia. Okay.
Yep. Country roads.
Yeah,
take
John
me
Denver.
home.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. A little song recognition there. I like it. A little bit of culture. I like it.
Lots of nice national parks and a lot of Appalachian country.
Well, we'll have that on your next. It'll be next Friday, correct?
Yep.
Not this Friday, but next Friday we'll have the Charleston, West Virginia metropolitan area.
Yeah, it'd be a very interesting region.
Good
Burlington, Vermont. Dylan will have that later in our show. But for now, let's send it back out to the wall with Brantley.
Thanks, guys. I'm excited to hear about Charleston, West Virginia as well. As we take a look at our rainfall almanac, we can see we are well above our normal for this year, and we still have a few more months to go. And we're getting pretty close to our September normal as well, just a few tenths under what we normally see this time of the year. So we will likely go over that normal rainfall as we get into the rest of this week and next week. Scattered thunderstorms right now in Tallahassee helping cool things off a little bit there to 85. The heat index, though, still at 93 degrees. That's what it feels like with all the humidity outside. We have some winds coming out of the east-northeast ahead of these thunderstorms that are moving through, and we'll keep seeing those here for the next couple of hours, and then we'll start to see the winds switch up as we go into the evening. Our current conditions: a few scattered showers and thunderstorms for Tallahassee right now. Everywhere else looking pretty sunny at the moment. We're seeing sunny skies through Thomasville, Valdosta, Moultrie, all the places in northern Georgia here. And along the coast, temperatures are down in the upper 80s there because the Gulf is helping cool things off a little bit with the sea breeze there. Also partly cloudy skies along the coast. Dew points very high for this time of the year. We have dew points as high as 80 degrees right now in Carabel. So that is very uncomfortable there. Also 75, still uncomfortable comfortable here too. 78 in Monticello. It's feeling really damp outside with all the humidity, really oppressive, and that's what's helping our heat index get so high. 93 right now in Tallahassee. Just an hour ago it is at 103 degrees. So it is definitely cooling off in Tallahassee here ahead of these showers, but in Carabel, Apalachicola, St. Mark's, they are holding on to the heat with all that moisture in the air. So 102, 104, and 103 there along the coast. So a very hot and humid day here in the Big Bend. Our satellite and radar, we can see these thunderstorms along the I-10 corridor moving towards the east right now. Lots of lightning involved in those storms too. We will see those storms start to die off here as the next couple of hours once the sun sets and we lose some of that daytime heating. The reason we have all these storms going from the west to the east is because we're north of this high pressure system right here, helping with the clockwise flow, helping drive those storms over towards our area. So again, those storms will die off after the sun sets, and then we'll see them kind of pop up again tomorrow too. So later on tonight, these storms exit our area to the east, and then tomorrow morning, we'll start off with partly cloudy skies and keep those skies for most of the day. By this time tomorrow, though, some more scattered showers and thunderstorms start to pop back up again. Just a 20 to 30% chance for the Big Bend region, especially there along the coast. We'll see those storms die off again once we go into the night as well. Thunderstorms moving in through the rest of this evening and then clearing out late tonight. Tomorrow, a hot day again, 94 degrees for Tallahassee. So we're going to see very hot temperatures, generally in the 90s for most of the area. We're going to stay in the 90s for the next several days too. It won't be as hot as 94 as we get into the weekend, but still lower 90s for the next 7 days there with just a slight chance of rain each day to cool us off.
Well, now let's take a look at the southeast. We'll bring things out into a much bigger picture, and really they're feeling what we're feeling around Tallahassee for much of the southeast. 94 there in Jackson, 94 Shreveport, 95 there in Houston. A little bit cooler out in Oklahoma City, sitting at a very comfortable 90 degrees for this time of the year, and a lot of moisture coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico. Look at those dew point values, especially right there along the Gulf Coast. 75 here in Tallahassee, 74 over in the Big Easy, 74 down in Houston, and the warm spot there, well, the moist spot, 77 degrees there in Brownsville. When you couple those ambient temperatures with that, with all that moisture, we start talking about that real feel, that heat index value, 102 in New Orleans. So all these places I was talking about, those high dew point values, it's translating into triple digit heat index values. 105 Houston, 106 down into South Texas there in Brownsville. And why is this happening? Why are we having all this moisture? Well, it's that onshore flow coming into Brownsville. They're out of the southeast at 9 miles per hour. It's ushering in all that moisture, and it's making it feel rather oppressive there for South Texas. Satellite radar, Brantley is alluding to this, that trough there between the two areas of high pressure that's starting to bring us some shower and thunderstorm activity. You can see that there in the Florida Panhandle from Pensacola, start heading east down I-10. Back toward Tallahassee, and then even starting to head over to Jacksonville. They're just going right down I-10. We're seeing all that thunderstorm development there. But as we go into the nighttime hours, things calm down. It gets rather quiet. Look at the clear skies. That's a nice sight there. So if you're having to take care of things overnight, things do quiet down. And then it's really kind of what we've seen, put it on there on the copy machine, because we see those showers and storms, that convective heating. We start to get the daytime heating with those showers and thunderstorms that pop back up into the afternoon time there. Tallahassee, this is by 6 o'clock, so even out toward Houston, across Louisiana, a lot of showers and storms there. So almost a carbon copy of what we've seen today. For tonight, 69 there in Jackson, Mississippi, 76, not much relief there in Dallas, 75 in Houston. We'll go into the low 70s into portions of northern fringes of the southeast, and then for tomorrow, carbon copy. We're back in the mid-90s across most locations, and right now I'm going to send things back off to the desk with Dylan and Brantley.
Thanks, Colby. We sure are glad to see those sunny skies there on the forecast for the Carolinas after they've seen days of heavy rainfall following Hurricane Florence.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I've seen some pictures of interstates flooded and looking like a river while it's a road and cars are supposed to be driving. It's insane how much flooding there's been.
Yeah, and now that flash flooding is going to begin subsiding, the next concern is going to be river flooding as those rivers continue to rise as the remnants of Florence move farther north there. That flooding is still a concern, though, for many places in North Carolina. One of the TV stations in North Carolina, WWAY, their transmitter went down earlier today. They were powering it with generators, and it went down earlier today. They are broadcasting, though, on radio waves and online on their Facebook streaming.
Yeah, they've been unable to access gasoline to power their generator to run their transmitter, so they've been out without being able to broadcast on TV, but luckily they do have other means of communicating to the public what information there is.
Exactly, and then people went out to the transmitter to switch it over to diesel fuel a few days ago. They're now unable to get there to refuel it, so they are working with local officials to hopefully get fuel to those transmitter sites soon. It's affecting 3 news stations there in North Carolina, so hopefully they'll get those powered back up pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, folks around the area might not have power as well, but we're going to send it out over to the wall with the National with Colby.
Hey, thanks guys, and hopefully we can bring some clear conditions in North Carolina. They can start the drying out process there from Florence. 92 right now in Memphis, 93 there at DFW, 102 out in Phoenix, so much warmer conditions there. And Pacific Northwest, Seattle setting at 66 and 70 there in Portland. And you can really spot the front here draped across the nation's midsection. Look at that temperature gradient, 63 in Minneapolis, 92 there in Kansas City. And for those dew point values, a lot of moisture coming into the eastern portions of the country. We head out west, things get dry in a hurry. 40-degree dew point there in Denver, 40 in Albuquerque. We do have a 53-degree dew point there in Phoenix, and we've had some onshore flow out of the Gulf of California actually giving them more moisture than usual. You can see that they're coming into Phoenix, and we do have some out of the Pacific there coming into Los Angeles as well, and that actually is getting the monsoon going in that part of the country. I'll show you that later. But really that boundary has been really the story of what's going on with our weather across the entire nation, portions of Iowa and Missouri, but we'll start here in the east, and it's really the remnants of Florence. You can see there I-95, so from Halifax back down to Boston, New York City, nice band of precipitation. That's moving off to the north and east, so Florence will be no more. And then as we start to see those flood alerts, now this is all from flooding that's occurred over the last several days, and we'll have to let those rivers start to recede. So that'll be a several-day process there into portions of North and South Carolina. Bringing it closer to home here, Tallahassee, we do have that showers and storms that are moving from west to east coming through. A nice clearing, though, for most of North Carolina there. So very nice clearing. That's a good sign there to see for them. Drying out process will continue. Hawkeye State there of Iowa, we do have some showers and storms along that boundary I was talking about from Omaha. We had a severe thunderstorm warning there south of Omaha. That'll push into portions of northern Missouri and southern Iowa there in the Midwest. And for the desert Southwest, we have these flash flood watches, and for southern portions of Arizona, that'll include Tucson, then back over into southern portions of New Mexico. That's where those monsoonal rains that we see, all that moisture I was talking about coming up out of the Gulf of California, and we get that heating going on there. In the afternoon, it's not a good situation. Big flood threat there because we have really dry soil, and when we get some rain going on those soil there, flooding becomes a problem because it's not, the soil is really not absorbing that moisture like we'd see here into the southeast. Over the next 24 hours, things will actually start to calm down as we go into the nighttime hours, and then by morning it's almost a repeat of the Dakotas and then back toward Minnesota into northern Iowa there. As we have along that boundary, we have storms start to repeat the process of what we've seen today, and those will continue as we go into the afternoon hours, and then look at that monsoon kicking up back across the desert southwest. For tonight's forecast, 73 in Memphis, 76 there in Dallas-Fort Worth. Look up into Seattle and Portland. Those are upper 40s, 45 in Billings. Look at the blues. That's a lot of cold Arctic air, and it's knocking on our door, but, well, knocking on the United States door in the very northern fringes of the country, closer to home. We're not getting anywhere near that. And then for tomorrow's forecast, mid-90s there, 95 in Memphis. So really a tale of two nations right now as far as the temperature contrast goes. Now we're going to continue our FSU Spotlight Research Series with Jake Karstens.
Jason Ducker is a PhD student working with Dr. Chris Holmes, FSU Meteorology's leading expert in atmospheric chemistry. Jason previously completed his bachelor's and master's degrees right here at Florida State and shared with us the big questions he's working to address in his current research.
So really what Dr. Holmes' lab focuses on is looking at how their system responds to changes in atmospheric chemistry. In this case, you can look at every different type of Earth system perspective, from the biosphere to the cryosphere, which is ice, even to the marine life. I'm looking into the biosphere perspective with the lands. So what we're looking into is how the land responds to changes in the global carbon and water cycle.
A major concern of Jason's, along with the rest of the Holmes group, is effects resulting from increased air pollution.
In the past 50 years as well, we have begun to have issues with air pollution in this case. In particular, the air pollution that we're looking into is tropospheric ozone, which is basically the ozone that many people think that is all the way in the stratosphere, about 10, 15 kilometers above us. That also actually can be produced into the lower atmosphere, or hence the troposphere, where we look into. Ozone, in particular, if plants can absorb this in the troposphere, they actually have begun to get past research that had controlled experiments to basically look at how ozone uptake impacts the plant's ability to absorb carbon and transpire water.
Jason has made progress addressing this with the help of the Flux Tower community.
Basically, picture a TV tower, but instead equipped with these very fast measuring instruments that has the ability to measure water vapor and carbon dioxide. So they're very fast, and in exchange they can measure basically the exchange between the atmosphere and biosphere with the carbon and water vapor fluxes. What we've been able to done is also incorporate the estimates of ozone fluxes into the biosphere. And using these estimates that we have now the ability to basically look at a much larger scale as to how air pollution affects the plant's ability to absorb carbon and transpire water. Overall, we're trying to eventually quantify these effects on a very large scale in both the United States and Europe. And in return, we're going to estimate how large, basically, this ozone uptake perturbs the global carbon and water cycle.
Given the societal importance of their work, the Holmes group has grown in recent years, now including multiple undergraduate and graduate students, along with a postdoctoral researcher, in addition to Jason. Along with this research, Jason has remained active in the community, formerly serving as the president of the department's organization for graduate students, the Thoracic Society, participating in numerous outreach events. A soon-to-be three-time alum, Jason is a perfect example of a true Seminole, well on his way to a bright future in our field.
All right, let's take a look around Florida right now. The Sunshine State, but we saw a lot of rain for a lot of places today because of sea breeze thunderstorms firing up in the afternoon. Some places are clearing up already, though. We're seeing sunny skies in Pensacola, Gainesville, and Key West. Clouds in other places. Tallahassee still seeing those thunderstorms. Dew points are high all across the state, though. A lot of moisture in the air right now. Really, really damp air. We're seeing dew points anywhere from 70 up to about 77 there. So very damp air, and it's going to continue through tonight and likely for the next couple of days as we stick with the summertime pattern. That high level of moisture keeping the heat index very high as well, up to 102 in Tampa right now. So feeling very hot right there. 100 in Jacksonville and 93 in Tallahassee. So upper 90s to the lower 100s for the entire state of Florida right now. Very oppressive heat. So we're not seeing any relief from the heat as this September sizzle continues. Our wind direction and speed, though, we are seeing onshore flow for most areas because of those sea breeze thunderstorms. There we're seeing onshore flow for the Gulf Coast and for the East Coast, where we are seeing some pretty high wind speeds down in West Palm Beach and Miami, around 10 miles per hour, helping drive that moisture onshore. Tonight, we're going to see those showers start to clear off here off the radar. We'll see things clear up for just partly cloudy skies later tonight, and then tomorrow we'll see a return of these afternoon thunderstorms. So thunderstorms mostly hanging around the coast right now. We'll see those fade away here pretty soon. Our futurecast shows the thunderstorms clearing off later tonight, and then tomorrow we'll start off with partly cloudy or sunny skies for most of the state, and then we'll see a few thunderstorms pop back up along the coast, moving farther inland late in the afternoon or early evening tomorrow. Tomorrow's forecast, upper 80s or lower 90s for most places. Farther inland, we could see temperatures in the mid-90s there. So if thunderstorms are possible for certain areas, as other places will continue to see some sunshine. Now we're going to take it over to Dylan with a look at Burlington.
Thank you very much, Brantley. We're going to actually take a look at Burlington. It's not Burlington Coat Factory, it's Burlington, Vermont, for instance. So we're not looking at a coat factory, we are looking at a state, and this is our metro area for today. Looking at our temperatures, a little more pleasant than it is here. 80 degrees in Burlington, not that bad for summer. I wish we were up there. 68 and a little rainy over in Highgate. So depending on what you like, this is a good summer, but if you're not used to, if you're going to experience cold like they will in the winter, this is not the best of summers as you want it. Looking at our dew points, though, lower than we are in Tallahassee, but again, still moist for this time of year. They're getting a lot of the moisture off the Atlantic, and it's really been making them very, very muggy. A little bit, but not too bad. And as we look at those winds, dominantly out of the north, and this is due to a frontal system that had just passed by. And you can see on the satellite radar, relatively clear once behind this frontal system, so not too bad for that. And zooming out a little bit, you can see where the system is located. You have this low pressure system over off the east coast of Boston, draping down a cold front, pushing all those storms off the coast, but leaving it clear behind it, so Burlington is in a good spot after that frontal passage. Lingering showers are still possible, but not a big threat. You do see clouds still present for tonight and into tomorrow as well. So clouds will still be there, but rain showers will not for them. And then looking at our temperature change, we do have temperatures start to drop, and as you wake up into the morning, feeling nice and cool at 45 for summer. That's like wintertime temperatures around here. And then as we go into the afternoon, warming up from 45 to about the mid to high 60s as well. And then not too bad as an evening temperature of 60 degrees, throw on a nice light coat. The cold front has really dropped temperatures down there. Clouds present throughout the entire region of tonight. And then tomorrow, you do have clouds again, but not too bad temperatures, feeling nice and a bit warmer than it was at night, but still cooler than we've seen the last couple of days. Not too bad, 66 in Highgate, 67 in St. Albans Bay, 67 in Milton. Not too bad temperatures. I would definitely trade those temperatures for here, what we've got in Tallahassee. But now let's send it over to the desk with events around Tallahassee with Brantley and Colby.
Well, I really wish we had those temperatures around here. Wow, 60s? Can
Oh,
you
yeah.
imagine?
Yeah,
That'd
it would
be
actually
really
be like fall.
nice. Well, we've got some events around the area as we get toward the weekend, and big football game this weekend. Florida State, we welcome the Huskies of Northern Illinois into town, and that's going to be a 3:30 kickoff on ESPNU. And hey, definitely hydrate out there because we're going to be in the low to mid 90s.
Yeah,
definitely.
the heat is not going to stop people from going to the stadium, that's for sure. And ahead of that game, we also have the Friday night block party. That's a traditional event we have here in Tallahassee from 6 to 9 p.m. on Gain Street on Friday night ahead of that game. So we have festivities all weekend long for this football weekend here at home.
And it's Parents Weekend, right? So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
so
we're also
a lot of events that we'll see Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's going to be a busy one, so definitely hydrate, sunscreen.
Yeah, and there are various Parents Weekend events happening on campus too. You can check all those out online at fsu.edu.
Oh, that's great. And let's go ahead and final local. We'll send things off to Michael.
Thanks, Brantley and Colby. And let's take a look at our almanac for today. It was another above average day here in Tallahassee. 93 degrees was our high before that thunderstorm at 5:30 came through. So above average of our 88 for this time of the year. Now, current conditions, you can see that thunderstorm still lingering in the background. 85 degrees right now in Tallahassee. But combined with humidity, it does feel like 93 degrees. Not as oppressive as earlier today, but still very muggy outside. In the current conditions across the rest of the region, we do have 84 in Quincy, cooler because of that thunderstorm that did move through. 91 in Bainbridge and Thomasville. They haven't gotten any storms today, so they're still in the heat and humidity up towards Bainbridge and Thomasville, as well as in Wilma. Now, the dew points, again, it feels very muggy outside. 75 here in Tallahassee, 78 in Monticello, and then down towards the coast, you're getting more moisture up the Gulf, 81 in Carabel. So those summer dew points not really lowering just yet. We might not get a really refreshing cold front until the end of September. The winds, we do have moisture coming off the Gulf of Mexico. That's providing some of the fuel and energy for these showers and thunderstorms today, as well as they did yesterday. Now, these are going to switch as we go into tomorrow. We're going to get a little bit of a northerly wind tomorrow, so that will suppress our shower activity into our Wednesday. Satellite radar does show you some showers and thunderstorms, especially across the Panhandle today. They've been getting most of the action today. Again, most of the shower and thunderstorms due to the last 2 days have been due to the surface trough sticking around in the southeast. That's basically the tail end of the remnants of Florence. This is going to move through as we head into tonight, and then tomorrow high pressure builds in. That's going to really dry us out, especially in the inland locations tomorrow. That's what our next 24 hours has showed. The showers and thunderstorms we do have right now, they really dissipate as we head into the nighttime hours. We do lose that daytime heating, leading to mostly sunny skies to start off your Wednesday morning. And then as we head into the afternoon, notice how the showers and thunderstorms are very limited to the coast and the Big Bend region. That's because that's the sea breeze. Northerly winds are really going to suppress it towards the coast. So if you're in Bainbridge, Thomasville, Valdosta, only a 10 to 20% chance of rain tomorrow because of those northerly winds suppressing the shower and thunderstorm activity. The temperatures, we're going to cool down to the middle 70s, 74 here in Tallahassee, 72 in Bainbridge. So very muggy and a moist night out there. And then as we head to tomorrow, warming up to the lower 90s. And if you do get a shower or thunderstorm, you could cool off back into the 80s. But pretty nice and summery outside still. The heat indexes in the morning will be right around the 70s. That's usually what we experience this time of year. But then as we head into the afternoon, see at 1 o'clock, already heat index is close to 100. So it feels very muggy outside, and you want to stay hydrated with these heat indexes well into the hundreds. And if you do get a shower, the heat indexes lower slightly into the lower 90s. Now for tonight's forecast, 74 will be our low for tonight, very muggy, and any storms we do have out there are going to dissipate by sunset. And then tomorrow, only a 20% chance of rain. That's going to be confined mainly to the coast due to the sea breeze. The northerly winds are going to really suppress the thunderstorm activity as we head into tomorrow. 94 degrees as our high. Heading out to the golf course tomorrow, as I say, I prefer any of you playing in the morning, 75 degrees in the morning, heating up very quickly to 93 degrees by 3 p.m. Your marine forecast, again, there might be a sea breeze shower storm, so 87 degrees will be our high for tomorrow. Let's go through our 7-day forecast for you here, and you can see how it's mainly going to be a typical summer pattern for the next week here, Dylan. So not much of a change here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, not much of a big change, but hey, 4 degrees off our high because it's not as hot is I'll take it.
It's a start.
It's a start.
We're getting closer to fall. Fall starts on the 22nd, 4 days from now.
Yeah, it's not going to feel like fall though when we start it. It's still going to feel hot, muggy, and typical Florida pattern. What do you expect here, folks?
Yeah, that's true. It's basically a typical muggy pattern here in Tallahassee. Actually, Colby was actually going to show you the Tour Championship forecast we promised. Pretty typical over there. Sunny, 90 degrees, hot and humid.
Yeah,
so
it's all
much better than Philly.
It's all Colby's fault for missing that. But I mean, it's same kind of pattern here. It's not great. I mean, it's kind of boring, honestly, when you speak in terms of weather.
Compared to last week when we were dealing with Florence, the Carolinas were dealing with Florence. They would take some of this weather, just a few showers and thunderstorms here.
Yeah, I mean, look, our rain chances increase, but our temperatures decrease. That's not too bad. It's a decent trade-off. Still going to need the rain jacket with you.
Yeah, 90 degrees will be our highs basically as we go into next weekend. This weekend into next week. You see the rain chances back to the typical summertime standards with around 50 to 60%.
Hey, Michael, is that a 71 as our low? That's not great, but hey,
it's a start.
We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. We need it to go down below the 70s. You can put on a jacket at night. I'm looking forward to those temperatures. We need those, folks.
Yeah, look at Burlington up there in the 40s. Can we get some of that weather?
That's
eventually?
a coat factory because you're going to need a coat at night there for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, next Friday we're gonna have Charleston, West Virginia. It should be similar weather they're up in the mountains. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We do have our social media platforms. Twitter.com/FSUweather.
We're on Facebook too. We post our social media there. And if you want to watch all of our old broadcasts, watch us live on YouTube anytime or watch our saved broadcasts as well.
Yeah, don't forget us on Instagram if you have any pics of you sweltering in the heat or have to race through one of those sea breeze thunderstorms.
Yeah, we don't want your phone to get wet, so don't take a picture in the thunderstorm, but we want you to be safe as well.
Yeah, so that's basically the name of the game here. Showers and thunderstorms this week. For all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm Michael Annan.
I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leaf. Have a great night, folks. Stay classy, Tallahassee.